Welcome to Myanmar International. This is going to be the first ever talk show regarding education happening in the country. And it's going to be a very massive changes in the country. So the persons that we're going to bring to this show will be awesome as never like, I mean, it's never been like before, and we're going to make it very special for you to actually learn about how they have been struggle and how they face their challenge in their life. And then we have a very special, for the first episode to join. His name is Dr. Nyein. He's really young and he's energetic. He's a fantastic guy, and he is already a doctor in mathematics cosmology, which is very complicated for me, complex, I don't know. So I'm going to get to him, and then we're going to have a very special time. So, Dr. Nyein is here.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Honor.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so, you know, people still don't know who you are, but I've already introduced about you. You're already doctor in mathematics cosmology. So, shall we show the fans who you really are? So before you get to all the stories, we'll take a look at your video first. Yep.
Sure.
Wow, I was amazed. It was really, truly, I mean, I'm really impressed about you because, you know, at this age, at this point of your life, you've already become a, you know, special person, you know, to your society. And wow, interesting, you wear the our traditional daipon.
Thank you.
Wow. So your life started from, you were saying, in Japan?
Well, started from Myanmar, of course, and I went to practicing high school, Institute of Education, also known as DDC, and then I moved to Japan as my father was posted to Tokyo as part of his government job. And
so you didn't really want to go?
Well, it's not that I wanted to or not want to, but I can say that I was quite excited on the day of departure from Myanmar. I had high hopes. I've never been to foreign countries before, so yeah. I was quite excited, but I never really wanted to live far away from home.
So that time you decided to actually study there and work, or do you have like, you know, some confusion like, am I going to be there for a long time, am I coming back? Do you have this kind of feeling?
Well, yes. In fact, I believe I was there for only a few years, and then I wanted to come back to Myanmar to join the Defense Services Academy. However, I become short-sighted, and because of other medical conditions, the Armed Forces career becomes unsuitable for me, and at that point I decided I wanted to study in the UK. That's mainly because I couldn't get into Defense Services Academy because of my short-sighted.
I'm sure you have so many options in your life.
Sure, definitely. You know, I had many options available. For instance, I could go back to Myanmar, and when it comes about to studying abroad, there are many choices available, such like as studying in Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, and so on.
So you finally choose
that's correct. That's also because at that time I was studying at the British Council, so
British Council.
Yeah, so I naturally had more inclination to go to study in the UK. Correct. In fact, I can say that it's one of the best experiences I could ever have in my life.
So can you recommend to some of the students that UK is the best place to have, you know, the proper education? Do you think so?
Well, I couldn't say it's the best because, you know, any system has weakness and strengths. So well, I can only tell, you know, its weaknesses and strengths. Sometimes what I think weaknesses may not even be weaknesses for some others, so it's just a matter of mere opinion. In the UK, I find that the modules that we study, the courses are more inclined towards theoretical approach, whereas if you study in Australia, for example, engineering, it's more industrial oriented.
So UK is more into pure theory.
Theory and quite abstract. That's my personal opinion anyway.
So how do you survive, you know, those?
Well,
since you're saying this.
Abstract doesn't mean, you know, useless. You need some good theoretical foundation to go further. From my point of view, having a solid foundation in the theoretical aspects of the studies that I was doing, I was well prepared to move on to study further on my own, train myself. My postgraduate studies will become a bit more well-rounded rather than just for one particular industry.
So you see, since our country is changing a lot, and then, you know, people are already, you know, in overseas, they come back and, you know, they contribute whatever they can so far, but still there are students, you know, going out, you know, like for further studies. As you see, like the top 10 of you know, matriculation exam, we had been, you know, struggle for brain drain problem. You see, those who are like highly educated, high profile, they went abroad, and, you know, some pretty much they never come back. And then you see, like this is a really huge problem. So do you think this time we can sort it out?
Well, we need to take some steps, I guess. In my opinion, one of the main reasons why people do not come back maybe because of the salary issues.
Right.
In our country, the academic salary is fairly low compared with other countries, and in fact, it might not even be enough for comfortable living. So for that reason, most people, I guess, choose to stay abroad.
Okay, so do you think I should go out?
Well, I couldn't comment on that.
Right, that's why you never come back.
Well, I would like to come back, and this is, well, I was in England before moving to my current place. This is my first step towards back home. In fact, I would like to come back, and I definitely will come back. But however, I need to be there for a few years to gain experience, and that will enable me
as long as you're thinking, you know, to contribute later on.
Definitely, yeah. Experience is invaluable, so I'm trying to gain experience, and after that, I would like to return and serve my country.
So I guess you had the right agent to actually go and study?
It's actually not true.
No,
in fact,
really?
I didn't use any agents at all.
So how did you get through?
Well, I went to the British Council library, and they had a collection of prospectuses from many universities and colleges in the UK. So I picked up
the one.
Yeah, and this one's from Notre Dame Catholic Sixth Form College. In Leeds. Yes, this is the college that I went to after my matriculation and before I got into university.
Any Myanmar student there?
I was the only ever Myanmar student in first,
You're
and so far the only. Well, I wouldn't call it, but I was lucky and lucky enough to get into that college. And after that college, I went to University College London, which is the original University of London, and in fact the original college of the University of London Federation.
So you went to Notre Dame and UCL.
That's correct.
Right.
Well, UCL or Notre Dame first, and then I move on to UCL after my A levels, and since then I happen to remain there until I finish my PhD.
What about your campus lifestyle? Different? I mean, in Notre Dame and UCL.
Well, Notre Dame is more like a further education college, and I was there for 2 years. So it's of course a much smaller place than UCL. UCL is a big university. Notre Dame probably has about, I think, 1,300 students.
So did you enjoy your teenage life?
Oh yes, indeed, very much.
In UK, wow.
But I had to be careful as well. You know, too much excitement could lead towards the ruins of my career.
Well, you know, college life was the best time of the life. You know, you enjoy a lot of things.
Correct, and these are some of the most memorable parts of my life. And university life is a huge difference. There's some fun as well, but we need to work hard depending on what we want to do afterwards.
All right, thanks for that. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to bringing more about the education in Myanmar, and then of course his life in UK and becoming a lecturer. So stay tuned, do not go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching the education program on Myanmar International, and we are very honored to have Dr. Nyein And thanks for that again. It was truly a pleasure join this. So our first topics was is awesome, and according to your experience, is really wonderful. So
thank you.
Who would like to get your opinion about things happening, basically education and the other stuff? So first of all, you're kind of a scientist, like you're studying cosmology.
Correct.
So if you were not a scientist, what would you like to see yourself, in the other way?
Well, I'm quite interested in financial industry. I look at how a small country, Singapore, has become the Southeast Asia's financial hub. And I have a great interest in it. And given our country's geographical location, natural resources, and human resources, we have the potential to become Asia's financial hub. So
you did research about Singapore regarding financial and banking stuff?
I did a bit of a research about the financial industry around the world in general, because I also thought about working in an investment bank if I chose not to remain in academia or become a scientist.
So did you also come across with any students joining the banking and finance management?
In England and in Switzerland, yes, I've seen a few.
Are there?
In fact, one of my senior PhD colleagues joined Bank of America London branch, one of the investment wings. Yeah. One of the departments under the investment wing of the Bank of America in London.
So you were saying the Singapore is become a business hub. Yeah. Even it's a very small city. Mm-hmm. So and like there's been some of the projects undergoing by a government,
yeah.
Our government. Yeah. That they would like to be the next Singapore. So is it possible? I mean, you see, those bankers, those investors, they're not really investing just studying. And so do you think that Singapore, they invest in Singapore, is it because of Singapore, or is there any?
I believe that's because they have very liberalized banking laws, and also because they have good education system. So to surpass Singapore, we can do that. We have the potential. However, we need two things. We need to first liberalize our banking law, so the regulations governing the operations of the banks, not just the commercial and retail banks, but also the investment banks. And secondly, we need education. By education, I mean we need a lot of experts from different fields.
That's right. That's
management, accounting, and in fact mathematics, because you need very good mathematical models to simulate, for example, interest rates. I guess. For me, I find myself more suitable within academia.
Okay, let's imagine you become a banker or investor. Right. Since you imagine wants to be like this kind of person. So you see many banks coming in, mm-hmm. like the World Bank and Western Union coming up. You see, it's a different service that they are providing.
Correct.
So let's say people are very excited mm-hmm. about those cashless society mm-hmm. within this community.
Yes.
So, but they're still confused about which bank to choose, because we also have local banks.
Right. And
there will be some coordination, cooperation within those companies. So Western Union and HSBC and stuff. So how is, according to your experience, how would we see these things to work out?
In our country, well, firstly, let me first make a note that, as far as I'm concerned, there is no investment banks in Myanmar yet. We only have commercial and retail banks, and they need a lot of improvement. And what they're trying to catch up with other banks, and now we have started to use, technology. So, for example, we started to have ATM and debit card system. Soon, I guess, we'll have credit card system and so on.